3 purposes of plot. So, we know a film is about a hero with a flaw due to a lie that they've believed. And they go on a journey of change, as I've said over and over. Well, here's the thing. As they pursue an external goal, plot forces them down that journey of change. And in the process, the audience experiences theme. Remember back to our primary job as filmmakers. What is it? I wish I could hear you say it. To entertain, right? But films also have the power to shape culture, and we know this. So I'm here to say, as you learn how to use plot and theme correctly, you will harness your power as a storyteller. You won't just entertain. Your films will have more meaning. So with this, let's talk about the 3 purposes of plot. 1, to entertain. 2, to serve the theme. And 3, to help the audience experience theme. So point 1, plot entertains. The primary purpose of a film, as we know, is to entertain. A film that doesn't entertain is just a lecture. You know this, or it's just an art display. But that's not storytelling. So this means that every plot point in your movie needs to first and foremost entertain. Plot is what keeps people on the edge of their seats. It's what, is comical. It's dramatic, it's sad, it's happy, it's all of those things. It's the things you want your audience to feel and experience. If people choose to watch your movie, they want to go on an emotional journey. And also with that, if they choose to watch your movie because you have a premise of space and aliens or dinosaurs, then your plot points also need to be about that premise. So just a little side note. Okay, point 2, plot serves the theme. We now know that theme is about your hero's journey of change, right? It's the deeper meaning of your movie. So how do you think a hero typically changes? With pressure. We are humans. We are lazy. We don't want to change most of the time without pressure. So everything that happens on the surface level, the plot level of your movie, has to put your hero in different pressure moments where they have to make choices. And these choices are going to lead them down their journey of transformation. Everything about your plot really needs to serve this purpose. And so all those cause and effect sequences we talked about, or events, that's what it's about. Now, it doesn't mean you can't have plot points in there just for the scare, just for the comedy, just for the thrill. That's fine. Every movie, I'm sure, does that. But as much as you can, you need your plot points to not be one-dimensional. Not just about entertainment. They also need to be serving theme. Okay? And sometimes as well, plot and theme will mirror each other. Take Jaws again. The plot of Jaws the premise and plot is about a town that's held captive by a shark, right? And the theme is about a man who's held captive by his fears. And when he fixes that internal problem, he's able to fix the external problem. In The Matrix, when Neo fixes his internal doubts about being the one, he's able to become the one and defeat the agents. Okay? So it's interesting how often in stories, the external plot will mirror the internal journey as well. Okay, point 3, plot helps the audience experience theme. And this is where things get exciting. So, as a filmmaker, you can unleash the power of your story when you master plot and theme. Remember what Robert McKee said. He said, you can't use story to carve out the cancers of society, right? We already talked about this. Yet, at the same time, we know films have that power to affect culture. I'm here to say that plot is the secret to the dilemma, using plot with theme correctly. People are hardwired to metabolize truth with story. It's like giving a dog a vitamin. If you've had a dog before, you know that sometimes you need to give them a vitamin and they don't necessarily want it, right? So what do? You wrap it in a treat and you give it to them and then they eat it. So they were entertained with the treat and something better happened. Well, you can see where I'm going with this. Plot is the treat. Theme is the vitamin. Let's look at Cars, Pixar's Cars. Great example of this. So before we talk about it, let's say someone marched up to you in the street and just said, hey, you need to be less selfish and you need to care about others more. Would we even listen to them? No. I mean, maybe if it was a family member or a close friend, but the audience that went to see Cars sat down in a theater, met characters that they'd never met before, and experienced theme. How? Well, Lightning McQueen was an arrogant, selfish person, Car, who needed to learn to look beyond his hood. So his journey of transformation was just that. Well, in watching Cars, we're entertained, great film, but then we're also prompted towards introspection ourselves. How are we selfish? How do we put projects before people? Are we so driven that we put that ahead of everything else? And so I'm not saying everyone does, but I'm saying Pixar did that in the best possible way. They wrapped a truth with entertainment, and it's very powerful. Hopefully that makes sense. When it really sinks in and you see how you can articulate plot to serve theme and help the audience experience theme, wow, it's amazing. So let's look at another example. Back to Jaws, classic movie. There's a plot point in Jaws that serves all of these points in an amazing way. It's the second shark attack. I think it'll clarify things more by going through it. So the second shark attack in Jaws, it's terrifying. It's suspenseful, and it definitely works on point one, entertainment, right? But here's how it successfully worked on points 2 and 3. So the second attack happened to an innocent kid. It happened on a crowded beach right in front of Chief Brody. So here is how this plot point served theme. The second shark attack could have been to an adult, could have been somewhere else on the beach, it could have been at night again, it could have been at a different time of the day, early morning, but the writer of Jaws used this plot point, this attack, to serve theme because it happened right in front of Chief Brody to an innocent kid. And so Chief Brody was forced, even if he doesn't realize it yet, he was forced to realize that his internal flaw of fearing the mayor just caused a kid to die. And so that plot point is successfully pushing our hero down the journey of transformation. Does that make sense? And then here's how it served point 3. It helped the audience experience theme. So it set up the funeral that happens, and Chief Brody goes to pay respects, and he meets the boy's mother, who we've already seen on the beach. And she's devastated, obviously, and she comes up and just slaps Chief Brody across the face, and it's shocking to us and him. And the reason is because as that boy's mom, who's now grieving the loss of her son, she can't fathom why the chief of police would have left the beaches open when he knew another shark attack had happened. And so when this moment happens, we are forced as the audience to understand how Chief Brody's flaw caused her son to die. And even though we don't necessarily blame Chief Brody, in fact, we probably didn't even like her hitting him like that, we're still forced to experience theme. His internal flaw caused her son to die. And so that was huge. So just keep this in mind. This is a great example, and this is just one of, pick any successful movie and look at their plot points, and you'll see the stuff happen. So point 1 for us is learning about how plot and theme work. Point 2 is looking at some studio examples, and then point 3 will be, working these things into our movies. So, action step. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to do point 2. So we've covered point 1, to some extent. I want you to watch 2 movies before moving on to the next lesson. Even if you don't like them, I need you to watch them because they're excellent examples of using plot and theme together correctly. 1, Jurassic Park. And 2, A Knight's Tale. It's my favorite Heath Ledger film. So anyway, watch these even if you've seen them. I need this stuff to be fresh on your mind because we're going to look at some specific stuff and see how these writers, these filmmakers, use plot on all 3 levels successfully. I'll see you there.